to do the MVP ladders every week, in my opinion. It's kind of a stupid thing to think about, to talk about in the lead up to December, January, February. Like, it's not until like probably mid-February that's like, all right, let's start analyzing the cases of some of these guys. That way we can. Oh, I'm sorry, the Kia MVP ladder. That's right. I'm sorry, Kia. I'm about to get a knock on my door from a Kia executive dressed in all black. But I want to look at this because I've already seen it, and I have some thoughts and opinions. Because I had this problem a year ago when, damn, I just felt like, I felt as though we were just moving goalposts all the fuck around, and things that we said mattered didn't really matter anymore, and things that a couple years ago we said didn't matter all of a sudden matter now. And now all of a sudden, it's starting to feel the same way again. So let's get into it. I've said, anytime someone's brought up MVP, I've said, look, do I have to download playback on my laptop to watch? No, playback is just a web browser or a website. So just a reminder anytime we do this, the Kia MVP ladder, shout out to Kia, is one guy's opinions, right? They're not polling across the league. That's Tim Bontemps who does that around the halfway mark of the season. So here's where we have to, early in the season, I kind of understand tossing things to the side. Jokić has been phenomenal so far this season. Now here's the problem. The Denver Nuggets are 11-9. 20 games into the season, 11-9. That's not great, but considering some things, it's not the worst. However, the way that the Western Conference is, how stacked it is, they are currently the 8th seed. So, this automatically makes me question some things. If the Nuggets were a 6th seed, 7th seed, play-in team, God forbid, would they still give it to Jokić? Let's read the blurb. His case, the Nuggets are feast or famine with and without the Joker on the floor. That was always the case for much of the last 4 years, but is more striking now. Denver's offensive rating is dead last in the NBA without him, and number 1 with him. Same for team field goal percentage. He's the only player in the league in top 5 in scoring, rebounds, assists, and he also leads the Nuggets in steals. His defense is never as bad as often suggested, is better this season. So defensively, I don't think Jokić has been very good this season. Full stop. I mean, I've watched a decent amount of Nuggets games. I've watched the Mavericks play the Nuggets twice. I do not think Jokić has been good defensively at all, actually, to be honest with you. Sure, he's going to get some steals here and there and some blocks or whatever, but I think his defense has been bad, like straight up bad. Now, of course, offensively, he's been unbelievable. And I do think he's been the best player in the league so far this season. So maybe all of this talk is fucking stupid, right? Maybe all of this talk is just stupid and nonsensical. But also at the same time, I had to sit here. Look how they're so much better when he's on the court. I have pushed back against. I'm starting to see people really fight back against some of this stuff. I've pushed back against this narrative for years, where I've said yes, and part of it is this. Understand that they are dominant when he's on the court. So that does, there's your argument right there. But the on-off numbers, when Jokić on-off numbers, no team in the NBA, and it's not close, by the way, no team in the NBA plays more 5-starter lineups than the Denver Nuggets. No team in the NBA plays more 5 bench lineups than the Nuggets. No team in the NBA plays more 4 starters, 1 bench lineups than the Denver Nuggets. So naturally, these on-off numbers are going to be fucked. And it's a little weird to me that we're just yeah, well, his GM fucking reeks and sucks. And so we're going to give him MVP. Like, his GM is incapable of putting together a good bench, and they have just completely shit all over themselves in terms of roster building. And so because of that, Jokić gets the MVP. Because, that's our guy. We love him. We love him. We love you, Yoki Poo. What was Luka's stat line last season? Yes, Luka averaged a historic stat line last season. More points generated per game than any player in the history of the NBA. I actually went back a couple days ago. Rarely ever do I watch my own videos or watch them again. But I did go back a couple days ago and watch my Luka MVP video. Fuck, he had an incredible season last year, man. 34, 9, and 10 for Luka, basically, if you round up. And I do think what's the most damning part of these 5-man rotations for the Nuggets, it doesn't make any sense. I don't think there's some nefarious, like, they're trying to boost his on-off numbers. I see people say that. I do not think that that's true. I do think it's just what it is Michael Malone is trying to maximize his starters being on the court. And it's like, hey, let's dominate. Let's dominate these minutes. And you know what? We're going to lose the bench minutes, but let's just be as good as possible during the starters minutes, and we'll try to make do. But it's like Aaron Gordon spends, I think I saw a stat, 90 to 95% of his time on the court with Jokic. That doesn't make sense to me. Aaron Gordon should be getting staggered. Aaron Gordon's a guy who should be out on the court when Jokic is not on the court. The backup center situation is so dire in Denver. Aaron Gordon should be playing small ball 5 when Jokic is off the floor. That should absolutely be happening. Simmons is over Murray step close to wash talk on last pod. Yeah, I listened to it. I really enjoyed that episode. I know that they were sucking off Jokic the entire time. Jokic is awesome. I don't want to make this sound as if I don't like Jokic. I really do like Jokic. I do think he's been the best player in the league so far this season. So maybe it's fucking stupid to even have this conversation. But I do wonder. Like, we're a quarter of the way into the season. Jokic is his team is the 8th seed currently, and they have Giannis at 2. Giannis has been amazing. They're 11 and 10. Yeah, I think Giannis and Jokic have been the 2 best players so far this season. But just conventionally, what we've talked about, what matters for MVPs, winning, record, all of this stuff. I think it should be Shea currently, and they have Shea as the 4 seed. Just being honest. If I had to vote, if the season ended today and I had to vote, I would give it to Shea. That would be my vote. The advanced numbers love him. He's 30 points a game. They're the number 1 seed. Shea over Jason Tatum? Yeah, I would. I mean, it's close. Jason Tatum's been awesome. I just think Shea's been better. Karl Anthony Towns, they have at number 5. I don't really have a problem with that, honestly. Cat's been really, really good. Top 5 feels a little out there, but okay. Advanced numbers should have never been accessible to the public. Yeah. Spider should be top 5. Franz, number 6. Anthony Davis, number 7. I think he should be out. he should be out of this mix entirely. Luka at 8. So I believe that this is the first inclusion of Luka. Donovan Mitchell at 9, and Victor Wembanyama at 10, with Jaylen Brown, Norman Powell. What? Alperen Şengün, J-Dub, and Trae Young also getting some love. Not gonna lie, I feel like I have Kyrie over Luka right now. Yeah, shout out to Norman Powell, man. Norman Powell has been really good this season. MVP shout. MVP shouts. Kurt Goldsberry released his efficiency landscape graph. Are we going to get at a point where the season's coming to an end, the Nuggets are the 6 or 7 seed? Because I look around the league, and we're going to talk about this here in a bit, of who's real contenders. I don't think this Nuggets team is. I do not at all. Will they finish? So here's who they're behind in the standings right now. The Suns. Well, the Suns, whenever they're all healthy and playing, look really good. However, KD's, I don't know how many games KD's going to play this season. The Clippers, they're the 6th seed. The Clippers do play a really, I think, sustainable brand of basketball. We shall see. There's definitely a world where they slip a little bit. The Warriors have been struggling a little bit lately. Got a nice win last night, but I do think that they're going to fall for sure. The Warriors will. Grizzlies, I mean, this feels about right for them. Mavericks, I struggle to see the Nuggets finishing higher than them, assuming they're healthy. The Rockets, maybe. The Thunder, no chance. So we're talking like 5, 6 seed. I'm going to have some problems. I'm going to raise some hell. I'm telling you right now. I'm telling you right this second. I'm going to have a big fucking problem with that. I'm going to have a big problem. And by the way, I don't have a problem with Luka being 8 because he's missed so much time this season. He had a rough start to the season. That's not really what I'm arguing. I'm gonna be upset if Jokic is a 6 seed, 7 seed, and they're like, yeah, but look at how his team was, and look at this. And it's like, well, what about fucking last year? Huh? Jalen Green doesn't look good, man. No, it is funny.